Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about the IP3/DAG pathway. And to start off, I'm just going to give a little bit of context on it. So the second messenger in this pathway is IP3, actually also DAG. So they control responses such as sugar and ion transport, glucose oxidation, cell growth, and muscle contraction. And I'll just be going over the pathway pretty simply. So first off, you're going to have a ligand bind to your GPCR. It'll be over here. I'm going to be drawing in red. Okay. So your ligand's going to bind to your GPCR. And in this pathway, your ligand's going to be acetylcholine. All right. And when the acetylcholine binds to the ligand, your GPCR is going to be activated, and that's going to activate your G protein, which is shown down here. GTP, we'll go from GDP to GTP. And GTP is your activated G protein. So your activated G protein is going to travel to the effector enzyme. In this pathway, the effector enzyme is phospholipase C. I have it drawn over here, labeled right here. This is the effector of this pathway. So if we look in the plasma membrane, we have a type of phospholipid here called PIP2. PIP2 is, it stands for phospholipid phosphatidyl inositol biphosphate. It's a pretty long name. But what this, here, I'll write it out. PIP2. So PIP2 is phospholipid inositol, phosphatidyl inositol, however you say it, biphosphate. Right, so that's a phospholipid that's in the plasma membrane. Now, PIP2 is made of two things. It's made of DAG and IP3. So the glycerol and 2 fatty acid portion is called DAG, as I've drawn here. That's the DAG. It's 2 fatty acid tails and a glycerol backbone. PIP2 also has a hydrophilic portion called inositol triphosphate, which is IP3. So this right here is hydrophilic, and what will happen is this will get cleaved off, and it'll leave DAG in the membrane. So IP3 getting cleaved off from PIP2. IP3 is a secondary messenger, and what IP3 will do is it'll travel down here. It'll travel to the endoplasmic reticulum, and your IP3 will bind to a calcium ion channel in the ER, and it will open the ion channel, and so it'll allow for the release of calcium ions to release into the cytoplasm. So each one of these are calcium ions, because the IP3 binded to the channel in the ER. So these calcium ions in the cytoplasm, they're going to bind to calcium binding proteins like calmodulin and PKC. So your calcium binding proteins, I have them drawn here. These can be anything like calmodulin. They can be PKC. They can be things like that. And so from there, it's going to lead to your cellular response. So ultimately, your calcium ions that were released and your DAG that was stuck in the membrane, these indirectly and directly phosphorylate/activate your target proteins. And so additionally, I'd like to talk about like lithium and bipolar disorder. I'm just going to talk about it on the side here. I guess, yeah, I'll draw it down here. All right, so lithium and bipolar disorder. Right, so lithium, The lithium ion is used to cure bipolar disorder. It's used to treat it. So lithium used to treat. I'm just going to say BD. But to talk about that, let me first say what bipolar disorder is, or what it results from. So bipolar disorder results from overactive pathways in your cells, and in specific, it results from the overactive IP3/DAG pathway, and that results in like changed brain activity leading to bipolar disorder. So what does LI do? What does lithium do in this case? Lithium actually inhibits the G protein from activating your effector over here, that I'm shading in purple. And when you don't activate your effector, you won't have synthesis of your IP3, which is your secondary messenger. And if you don't have a secondary messenger, then your pathway won't occur. And so when you take lithium, so let me write this down on the side. Lithium inhibits G protein from activating phospholipase C. Right, so what happens when you inhibit the G protein and the pathway doesn't occur? Your brain activity is going to change back to normal, right? So that's how we use lithium to treat bipolar disorder. And yeah, that's the IP3 and DAG pathway. Thanks for watching. Bye.